sanctions against Russia. Inside the country, though, what is the mood? And what are their fears? 3 News Europe correspondent Melissa Davies is in Kiev, as you can see. Melissa, great to have you with us. It would seem that the threat of armed conflict has subsided just a little. What is the feeling with regard to conflict on the street in Kiev?
Well, Paul, yes, to some extent it does feel like the threat of conflict has somewhat subsided. I mean, people are walking about the streets as normal, shops are open as normal, but the scene on the streets is anything but normal still. There are still those barricades that, have been made up by soot-covered tyres and old gates and bricks, yet they're covered with freshly cut flowers in memory of those 90 or so protesters who were killed here last week. So there's highly emotive scenes and a lot of emotion caught up in those images of the barricades, and so protesters don't want to leave them anytime soon. And of course, as you remember, this started as a protest against their own government, but now they certainly see Russia as the new aggressor, and they don't want to leave until they feel that threat has gone away.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it would be easy for us to forget in the Western world exactly how this did start. The people that you've spoken to there so far, what do they want to see? What do they want to happen now?
I think if you said in a word, it would be peace, and of course, that sounds much simpler than it actually is. It was interesting because one man that I spoke to said they actually don't know the solution anymore. It's become so poisoned. Relationship with Russia has become so poisoned now. They depend on Russia economically, but now they just don't know. There are terrible consequences for them, they believe, if that happens. But they want to see elections go ahead in May, and they want international observers to be here for that. But they also want to see ex-politicians who they accuse of corruption, and also the policemen, those people involved in shooting protesters last week, they want to see them brought to justice too.
I mean, at the moment, certainly in Ukraine, the biggest flashpoint, the most obvious, we're looking at pictures from there now, flashpoint between Russia and Ukraine is in Crimea. The people on the streets in Kiev, of course, are very different to many of those people in Crimea. Do they care? Do you get the feeling that they really care about Russia's involvement